awaiting buyout, and the finalization of the Celtics and Cavs trade, WWE recap, and more.
Brace the roaring elbow. Favorite controversial figure. The bane of Chris's agony and existence.
Wow.
He got through security tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and he's back. It's the Duke. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. Apparently, I am nightmare fuel, and I love it.
Nightmare fuel.
People, the facts that goes in their sacks.
Word.
Other dark places
The
of
dirty cousin we don't talk about.
Exactly.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
The big news out of the NFL, other than the second issue, reactions before the video came out and after the video came out.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, there was some commonality in between, so, yay for that. But there was some flip-floppity happening. But, gentlemen, I'm going to start off with the Duke. Let's get your reaction about this issue.
I'm tired of hearing about it. Like this, it's just me personally. But I did look into this one because, well, I feel like that they should. I don't feel like they should because of who he is. Like, I mean, it goes back to the whole common courtesy. At some point, there will be an apology. I'm curious to see if it is because he's Michael Bennett or because they just realized, like, man, we messed up. Oh, Chris, you're messing up, man. You were messing
Sorry
up,
about
son.
that. That's on me. Really just enjoy themselves and reading the articles and seeing the reports. Obviously, you're going to get the different takes from the different analysts. But I think the use of excessive force on, of course, African American men, obviously we know is a problem. I've been there. I feel like they're always just there because it's such a. I'm sure he gave his rendition
footage here pretty soon from the actual officers that took him down. Now, if they are the person that you're looking for, you most definitely want to get them out of the way. But the first thing that you need to do is, look after yourself and anybody who may be in the immediate pat down just to make sure you don't have anything on you. And then once you get them out to a more secure area, you give them a full pat down or a full search. You start pulling things out of pockets and did some poor police work on that sense because really honestly, to figure out you weren't the shooter. So without all the details, I can't not harassment. Obviously, I wasn't there, and only the people who were there at this point know the full story of what went down. But I will say that if you are, let's put it this way. Let's say the average is take him down by themselves.
Definitely not.
Exactly my point. So it's going to have to take more than one of them just to get him to the point where, okay, I now have control over you. Again, assuming making the snap judgment that I think you may be the
to what you're saying, according a police officer ordered me to get to the ground. As I laid on the ground, complying with his commands not to move, he placed his gun near my head and warned me that if I moved, he would blow my effing head off. Terrified and confused by what was taking place, a second officer came over and forcibly jammed his knee into my back, making it difficult for me to breathe. They then clenched handcuffs on my wrist so tight that my fingers went numb.
That's a lawsuit. So
it didn't sound like that. It was,
cool, let me get you up, stand you up, let me check the front, make sure you don't have it, in a front pocket. Still looking for that person and you were not them. We're right now only really hearing one side of the
thing at the same time, which makes it so ironic. Like that's the irony of this whole thing. Like this is the reason why he's how many people kneel tomorrow, not for African Americans getting police brutality, but now Michael Bennett be.
I had the chance to read once again the initial comments and feedbacks from social medias to once the video actually came out, totally different narrative. Of course, we all know how nasty was wrong. Whatever part that they'll become blind to, that they'll only see what they.
So, I feel like all cops everywhere kind of.
I hate the fact that people think that it's just a matter of us playing the race card, but I need people to realize how serious it is. You don't get the same. We don't get the same treatment. Like, you just don't know. Like, you don't know where people are in the whole race war that we're always having. Some people are always for it, some people are against it. Some people do a great job of playing sheep and open our eyes. That's kind of what I alluded to when I was 5, 10, 15 minutes down the line, or the rest of our life. Like he said, he heard they were shooting. They said to run. He ran, and I mean, unfortunately, he ran while black, and that's the part that I just find to be unfair.
Absolutely.
Like, if they would have just stopped him and been like, whoa, 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 why are you running? They're the police. Like, hey.
I mean, honestly, go to McDuck safe word. At the end of the day,
they can freaking
put Chris back.
RG3. Clearly, he's a high.
Him being out there might increase the potential chances of the Cowboys winning, and they're like, well, we follow the rules of the law, and that right there is all.
Right.
Josh.
Absolutely. Right.
But that being said, let's say worst case scenario, Cowboys game, and they go 2-7.
That should be a win. He should have just stayed out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh my God.
So
week 8.
7. So before he comes back, that next game, 49.
1, 4, and 2, depending on how some of the teams come out and play. I mean, there's always a possibility of 3-3, depending on how the Cardinals come out and play.
Yeah. DJ Ward, but
who's a buck, which I'm happy about.
Starting to build mojo. Hopefully,
the Eagles.
Is one.
Yeah, that's one.
Title, and if the Giants lose, then they'll, if the Giants win their
I think
game,
I don't think
right there, that's put up a shut up time.
It's interesting because the bottom 3 teams are teams that are on the cusp, except for the Titans. I think the Titans, they should be able to. They should, I don't know. I think the strength of the schedule should be based on. I don't feel like they've gotten better either.
I'm excited to see what the Raiders do this year.
I mean, the Raiders should handle that, though. As long as Derek Carr can stay healthy and they got beast mode back there, which I saw Jay Rich got his sweet jersey. Should be interesting. Sheldon Richardson.
Oh, I never joke about the Cavs.
I know. Despite the fact trade was even, the Jets trading away Sheldon Richardson, and I'm only saying this is even because the Jets picked up a 2nd-round pick. And Jermaine Curse is okay. I don't.
When he taught us growing up.
Yes,
I'm just saying.
We don't play them this year. And I don't want anything to do with that. And if we play, that's so rough. Yeah.
But that is the horn. We'll be right
Shut
back.
up.
Unless it's a go-kart or Honda Ruckus.
Well,
in those states where those 2 things apply.
We're not supposed to enable the kids.
oh yeah.
It's the kids. Sorry. It's the kids.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
So our next subject is the ongoing quarterback carousel.
If you will.
I don't think these guys can throw Jacoby Brissett. But even Jacoby Brissett, I don't think is
Jacoby
as
Brissett?
good as Brissett. Yeah, whatever.
I
Brissett,
was like, what?
Pissant. I mean, what difference does it make?
I was like, John Gotti's over here hungry. I'll take a brisket right now.
He's been a receiver.
Yep.
He's been a kick returner, punt returner. And it's so unbelievable that the Bills traded for Gans, want Brock Osweiler to donate his salary to Houston because he was a bum.
First of all,
Is that
the
the
internet
true
still
reason?
has no chill.
None. I mean, Jacoby Brissett kind of makes me feel like Andrew Luck's injury is a little bigger than they're making it seem.
Well, it's possible.
Which makes even more reason that they should have picked up Kaepernick, like I said weeks ago. Kind of ridiculous and hypocritical sometimes when we think about it. Like, it's a song. It's a song about.
I'm not the one being judged. I'm not the one that's in the public eye. This is the mentality of every fan in the stands. I'm not the one that's on Sports Center being talked about for doing this.
And now it's for good reason. It's always been for good reason. But now the people who kept saying Blue Lives Matter realize, like, hey, they were kind of wrong for that one. Not saying that all of them.
Business-wise, it's not the right way to go. And I'm glad that we kept it so broad.
But let me ask you a question. What's the point of the business, though? The point of the business is to win.
No, the point of the business is to make money.
No.
That's the point of every business.
Ben Roethlisberger can rape women and fall off motorcycles. If Ray Lewis can get off a murder charge. This guy did a peaceful protest.
Very true. You forgot about Greg Hardy. You forgot about
Greg Hardy
as well too.
Greg Hardy did nothing of significance. I didn't want to have an argument.
Dante Stallworth, who the person while driving under the influence and still got time.
Baltimore, I mean, it's pretty rough. Carolina, I mean,
I know, but that's exactly my
much money in San Francisco.
But this is why I gotta stay with this, and I'm gonna get.
Yeah, that sounds like a Cowboy fan. I would say that. He would say that.
My goodness.
But it's true though. I mean, if you win, who cares? Like, people might stop coming to the games initially, but it's gonna be like.
No, they won't. No, they won't. They won't stop going to the games. Don't even.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe be like, peace. Pointed the blame to Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend. He took that picture and put underneath it the picture of Samuel L. Jackson and Leonardo DiCaprio hugging after Leonardo DiCaprio died on Django Unchained. First of all, completely Bush League thing to do ever. Since people want to talk about the business sense of football, Duke.
Yep. That seems like a pretty weak reason. I'm trying to avoid all controversy.
Catering to potentially just the white fans.
But in a sense, isn't that what we do? I mean, look at all the commercials that come on for most football games. You never see a commercial really for any black product, black used product, black owned product, Polynesian product. You know, you don't see a commercial for macadamia nuts. It's Anheuser-Busch, Dorito.
Fans, and of course some of the people who, again, are white and support the movement. I mean,
McDonald's commercial from '92 to now.
Mm-hmm.
You rarely, ever see a white face in that commercial.
Nope.
Ever. It for the longest time, all throughout the night.
And it, as much as the black are, unless they're in the booths. You know what I mean?
That's
like
that's fair.
The owners, the GM. This is
when that happened.
Yeah, it's just usually a white position, but now it's starting to integrate, and of course that's where it kind of starts to trickle in, which is probably why people hated Donovan McNabb for many reasons. But at the end of the day, I mean,
place, and as much as we want to tell Chris to extend the time, we're just not gonna do it. Not for that one.
Right.
Our next subject, we're actually going to transition from the gridiron to the hardwood and talk some basketball. And
we're talking basketball.
NBA legend Irving Magic.
We're talking about a G. Like, I mean, what a because I mean it's Magic Johnson, but at the same time, like, it's still a lot to say. Hey, yeah, that $500K for tampering, I'm not worried about that. I really want Paul George. Where's the bill for that? Just take that out of my salary.
Hell.
Yeah. Classic.
It is a classic.
That's the first thing I've thought about while reading this article. I'm like, that right there, he's a classy fellow. You know, there's just not one person walking out saying, "Kiss my."
And I imagine that all of these executive team, I mean, I'm sure teams are going to be looking to take that risk of, hey, I'll pay $500K if I'm going to get
are a lot more united than the players, and they're going to get together and be like, you know what? Nah, that $501,000, that's not working for me. Cutting into my profits, and collectively cutting into our profits. You know, maybe we can split that and share it.
No, you gotta drop it. You were so good. You were so good for 3 weeks.
Wow.
You know why? Because there was no Rick and Morty this week.
Oh,
that's probably was it. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, there has been a long history of coaches in all of sports.
Because I would feel like I'm getting cheated all the time.
No, you just give LeBron James a dose of reality.
Let the boys play.
I mean, speaking of getting cheated, I mean, all I could think of while he's talking about it is the Doctor's first time playing Borderlands and one of his favorite enemies, which was the Goliaths.
This one is the one that the two come back to back, and that one level, I think, and we always bring Death Trap out. That one that limps, but it's like Jason fast. It looks like a goat or something. I don't know. It's like tall and like it kind of looks like a grandpa looking thing. It's kind of weird.
Who, Captain Flint?
No, I never seen Captain Flint up close.
I think I know what you're talking about. You might need some more clues, but sticking with the National Basketball Association, since we segued real quick into Borderlands. Make sure you pick up Borderlands by Gearbox. Gearbox, make sure you give us Borderlands 3, you piece of crap. The NBA, and we kind of touched on it, but...
And I think this is the NBA's way of saying, all right, well, you know what? We're going to just go ahead and, older teams, actually most teams are...
Again, actually, before I go there, my favorite analogy about basketball players is I equate them to Great Danes. They're great, they're huge, they're lovable, they leave messes everywhere, but you just can't run them that hard. They don't have a long shelf life. So, yeah, I don't necessarily agree with this. Like, I kind of feel like the teams and the coaches should have their own methods of making sure the players rest. At the same time, though, if you have players signing multi-year deals and you won't let them out of it, it becomes a little harder if you're, say, Cleveland. I'm just going to use him as an example, where I'm running. He's not going to hold up that well in 5-6 years, as opposed to a Los Angeles, where you come, as long as we're up, you're on the bench. So I feel like I want teams to be able to have that kind of flexibility.
And NBA already had their lockout with the players.
Right. Honestly, I would like to see the books.
They must have a Hoffa working in their finance department.
Oh my gosh, he went there.
Yeah. Again, if it was personal decision, I could see that. I don't really see him going to LA.
Those 5 teams. Piece or two, I feel like they've retooled to the extent of replacing a lot of role players. Only person they didn't replace really is Chris Paul, which he's unreplaceable.
Yes.
But I think when you look at it, Dwayne Wade joining a team like the Milwaukee Bucks, the Rockets, the Spurs, the Cavs, the Warriors, the Celtics, a team that he feels, the Thunder, a team that he feels. Yeah,
exactly.
Actually, I don't even think the Cavs actually looked at the hip
Nope.
before they even started talking about the deal, which I'm not. And it's funny, and I was just thinking the same exact thing. It's funny because in the spirit of October was terrible. Their head coach, who was real, was terrible. And if this is a reflection of how they feel about those coaches, I wonder how those coaches feel. Yeah, I mean, wish people didn't have to go through that.
Oh my goodness! Oh, poor
and
Chris.
If you want to crown him, then we're gonna crown him.
Well, that's what happens when Chris decides he wants to try to find a new job outside of us.
Looking forward to see how the coach is going to use them. Honestly,
I mean, don't be surprised if we end up having a.
I thought you liked Al Horford. No. Take my chance to Golden State so they can fill my tank up with gas.
Disrespectful, like you don't do that to another man. But hopefully they can finally pick up some speed and actually have a suitor to get Carmelo Anthony. I know you wanted to talk about it a little bit, and we have a little bit more time left. We have about a minute left, so.
The Knicks might have to take Ryan Anderson the way to make it happen because I don't think Jabari Parker Anderson, depending on what makes. But I mean that's something he neither here nor
the breaking news actually before we get started, since this is WWE, Asuka formally handed up, which means she is going to the main roster. Probably gonna end up having to be SmackDown.
But she's hurt. I mean, ultimately, this is one of those.
A little bit. We'll challenge her for the title.
That's diarrhea poop.
But let's talk about Raw.
Let's talk about Raw. I'm not giving it lowers because I didn't see it.
I don't want to see either Superman Punch or a 5-knuckle shuffle at all.
Exactly.
And I.
But I liked what Strowman said, and I want to. Hey, that's all we need.
The internet will break.
The internet would break. It would completely implode.
But didn't make sense was now, I guess, the setup matches for the pay-per-view with the women's title now being a fatal 4-way.
I feel like that's gonna, make my point valid about, well, you're making her freaking job for the longest, and all of a sudden she's in the women's title, and now she's the new Jinder Mahal for Raw.
She's the new Jinder Mahal. I love it.
Absolutely. Although people are calling him King Kong Bundy.
I think it's worse than that.
The same guy who's only good line against John Cena is calling him a fake mass itch.
Wow. That really stood out. So
it give you something else to vomit over. Apparently,
in the world today, kind of insane. And Duke, I don't know if you had a chance to watch her do this elbow drop, but it looks absolutely epic.
I have not, but I'm gonna have to check that out.
I'm gonna have to check it out. In fact, Chris, hook him up with a.
No. Steve, I want Steve to do it.
Steve? You want Steve?
Yeah, Steve.
Oh no.
He hands me nothing. He does not speak to me, and in return, I do not want his nightmares.
That's very Rick-like of you.
Hilarious. Carmella.
Don't care. Although I guess people should care about, L's separate, but I don't care about that.
They locked lips and then separated. That's why it was kind of weird. But I felt like they should have did that. Oh god, exactly. I feel like they should have did that before Cass got hurt, even though it would have derailed her. I think it's time for them to get back together when he comes back.
I mean, dude, like, Hang Time than Easy E's Jerry Curl, dude. That is pretty awesome.
Wait, can we say that? Oh my gosh, that was too funny.
I think that.
Riley.
Hmm.
Like, just instant energy. Yeah, controversy to create cash kind of moment, because if it is, like, I can chase her out.
Of any form of. So, yeah, I'm with you. Like, I like the matches that I've seen thus far. I hope that it has a good finish and it doesn't just die off like, the blue pill in the 6th hour. But, we shall see.
I'm in a perfect team to send over.
I see what you did there.
Perfect. That would have been absolutely wonderful.
I see what you did there. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are reaching endgame. We're going to give our final thoughts. We're going to start off with the Doctor.
But I do know that Odell Beckham Jr. Could be on the fence for this game against the Cowboys, which could be interesting because of the ankle injury, which we played foul or fair with 2 weeks ago. So I know the Giants are monitoring that. And of course, speaking of injury, the quarterback from Maryland went down. I'm so glad. It was a Houston. I cannot believe I forgot. And is really good into 71%. But we're talking about
the first two I got off the top of my head.
Assassin's Creed. Nope, not even Assassin's Creed.
That should it hit, you don't end up in the worst of it.
And hear this interesting.
Also, to be a fun ride.
Oh, this is true. That's to J.J. Watt. Been very active. Shout outs to him for getting over that hump, getting over that evil. Also, Sonic Fox destroyed everyone. I don't think he ain't dead yet.
So I've been talking
on the way there, and it'll be the three of us doing some Borderlands running via Allegiance. I know the Doctor has been catch us every single Wednesday night here on YouTube and on Twitch. Same podcast time.
Feel good, baby. Throw on my sneakers, my t-shirt and jeans. Put the beat on repeat. Make some noise if you want some more.